welcome back. This is Adrian Expo, and in this video we're going to be talking about how long you should write your screenplay and what is the perfect screenplay length. So basically, based on the screenplay formatting that you must use, and with the correct spacing and the font, and always use Courier 12-point font. It retains the 1 page equals 1 minute of screen time. So 1 page equals 1 minute based on the correct format. So it can't get any more simpler than that. So you know the length is just 1 page equals 1 minute. So before I actually tell you how long you should make your screenplay, let's talk about when you finish your screenplay and you send it out to Hollywood, to a movie studio, and they're reading it over. The agents or producers or the hired readers that are reading it over. And what they do is the readers, they read dozens of screenplays a day. And I don't think they actually sit there and read every single page, every single word, because that would take forever. And, the Hollywood executives are like, hurry up. I need something on my desk. We need to make the next big movie. So find something quick. So what the readers do, they use a technique where they take a screenplay and they read the first 5 minutes. So basically the opening. And then they skip all the middle because they don't really care. And then they go read the last 10 minutes, which is the ending. So based on that, if they like the beginning, it should be like an opening scene that has action, that, grabs your attention, pulls you in. And then they read the last 10 minutes, which is supposed to be, it wraps everything up nicely, great conclusion. It's still, has a, heartwarming, deep meaning, whatever. The ending just works. So if they like those first 5 minutes and the last 10 minutes, then they'll consider it, and then they'll put it aside and read the actual, middle. They'll read from beginning to end, and they'll hand it over to the agent or producer and say, yeah, I liked it based on the beginning and end, so read it over and see if you like it. Otherwise, they're just gonna, pass it over and then continue reading like the hundreds of scripts they have to read a day. And I also threw in a little, tip here. So the first 5 minutes and then the last 10 minutes and then 20 to 30 pages in between, which is to set up the central conflict. So keep that in mind when you're writing your screenplay. Not to make it too long, but not too short. We'll get specifically how long you should make it. But the opening should be something exciting that grabs the reader, and in the ending, the last 10 minutes should also be compelling too. And now let's talk about how long you should make your screenplay. So based on the formatting, which is 1 minute for 1 page, your script should be about 90 to 120 pages, which means 90 pages is 90 minutes, which is 1 hour and 30 minutes. And also 120 pages is 120 minutes, which is 2 hours. So this is like the magic sweet spot range of making it from 130 or an hour and 30 minutes to 2 hours. Now, why should you do this? Especially if it's your first screenplay, I highly recommend keeping it within these boundaries. Now, why? Because it all comes down to money. Everything is about money. Because if you have a shorter film, when it's in the theaters, people, they buy more tickets because they can show it more times, have more viewings, because it's a shorter film. And also the movie theaters, people will buy, popcorn and soda and snacks, and they'll make money too. Now, if you have a longer film, you can't show it, you can't have that many viewings. So it'll be less money, less tickets, less popcorn, less money. And executives in Hollywood, obviously they don't want less money, they want more money. Now, certain, directors can get away with it, like Zack Snyder, when he made like Watchmen. I think that was like over 3 hours. That's because he's Zack Snyder, a well-known bigwig like director. But even he couldn't get away with it too many times, because when he made Justice League, they told him, listen, man, you gotta no longer than 2 hours. Keep it 2 hours or less, because they was expecting, to make lots of money on that, so they wanted to show it as many times as possible. And his original cut was close to 3 hours, and the executives were like, no, 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 we can't have that. So you can make your little movie, but you got to keep it 2 hours or less, so we can show it more times. So he couldn't even get away with it eventually. It caught up with him. But you're obviously not Zack Snyder, and it's your first screenplay, so I would keep it between 90 and 120 pages, and 120 is pushing it. I would keep it at an hour and a half or a little bit less if you absolutely have to. Now, here are a few tips I just want to mention to you guys about how long you should write your screenplay. So if you're writing a comedy, write it between 100 pages, about 100 pages, which is 100 minutes. It's an hour and 40 minutes. If you're writing a drama, then keep it between 105, 110 pages, which is 105, 110 minutes, which is an hour and 45 minutes or an hour and 50 minutes. So that's the magic range for a drama. And also, I tried to look up online, or read in some screenplay books of how short the maximum is to write your screenplay, the shortest. And I really couldn't find a definite answer. So like I said, don't make it over 2 hours if it's your first screenplay. But I'm just gonna give you a tip and say, if you make it 70 pages, which is 70 minutes, which is an hour and 15, that's way too short. If you absolutely have to and you run out of ideas and you can't expand the story, I would suggest that's way too short. So an hour and 15 minutes is way too short for any type of genre screenplay. I would suggest going back to the drawing board, adding more story, making the scenes longer, expanding on the scenes, because an hour and 50 minutes is way too short. Now, 80 minutes, which is an hour and 20 minutes, I guess that's passable to make it that short. So you could try for that. But my suggestion for your first screenplay is don't make it shorter than 85 pages, which is 85 minutes, an hour and 25 minutes. So that would be my suggestion. I guess if you absolutely have to and you have no choice, try an hour and 20 minutes, but nothing shorter than that. And like I said, I would keep it between an hour and a half, which is 90 pages, 90 minutes, and an hour and 25 minutes, which is 85 minutes, 85 pages. So I hope I didn't confuse you. And also another tip is, if you're writing a sequel and you wrote your first movie and people liked it, and you sent it out and it might be turned into a movie, but the overall consensus is that they liked it, then okay. For the sequel, then you can make it no longer than 2 hours. And you can get away with that because it's a sequel. So I hope I didn't confuse you. I hope I explained it well, of how long you should make your screenplay, between 90 and 120 minutes. And no shorter than, in my opinion, 85 minutes, which is an hour and 25 minutes. Okay? Thanks for listening, everyone. I really appreciate it. Please hit the like button, share, comment down below. Let me know if I'm doing a good job, or if you have any video ideas for me to talk about, any movies or screenplay writing tips. Please let me know in the comments below. Hit me up on Facebook and Twitter. And please subscribe, hit the notification bell, because I have a lot of videos coming up. In the next couple videos, we're going to talk about basic screenplay formatting. And that's just the setup before we actually get into the creative writing aspect of screenplays. So please subscribe, and until next time, see ya.